Let's look at how to do house digits based on a set of numbers, and there's a couple of conditions that we're going to look at. The first set of house digits we're going to do is they're going to be odd, and there is going to be no repetition, so you can't use a number twice, and there's no leading zero. So you can't have a house number that looks like that, for example. And we are going to do a 3-digit house number. So since I'm going to make a little picture, and I'm going to concentrate on the odd part to begin with. And since it's odd, it means that it could start with a 1, or end with a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, or a 9. So there are 5 choices for the final position. For the first position, there are all the numbers except for the number 0, and the one odd number we've already placed, so let's call that a 1. So that means there are these numbers left, which is 8. So there are 8 choices for the first digit. The second digit has no restrictions on it, except that we've already used up 2 digits, so that means there's actually only 8 left. And we multiply these numbers together to get the final number of odd house numbers. I'm going to leave you for the multiplication. Even is just a little bit more complicated because you have to consider 2 cases. All the cases that have a 0 at the ending in 0, because those are even numbers, and all the ones that are ending in all the other even numbers, which is 2 or a 4, 6, or an 8 ending. So we separate it out because the 0 has issues on the front end and on the back end of an even number. So let's do the second part here first, a 3-digit house number. And if I know I'm ending in one of these numbers, there's going to be 4 ways to do that. Once I've placed that number in, I've got 9 digits left, but I can't use the 0. So that means I actually only have 8 options because the 0 can't go in there at the front end. Now I've used up 2 digits, which means there are 8 left to go in the middle. So that's one case. The other case is if it ends with a 0. And if it ends with a 0, it means there's only one way to fill this. You're putting a 0 in. You're basically forcing it to end in a 0. And that means that the 0 is also not available to place in the first position. So you have 9 digits available to place in the first position. And you've used up 8 digits, which means you've got 2 digits, which means you've got 8 left. So that means you have 2 separate cases. You multiply the cases individually. So this is 256. And this one here is 73. And you add them together for the final number of even house digits. So the even ones are the ones that end in 0, and the ones that end in 2, 4, 6, or 8.